Welcome back to English Learning Channel. Before I begin today's story, I want to ask you something. Have you ever felt completely broken? Have you ever looked in the mirror and didn't recognize the person staring back at you? Have you ever loved someone so deeply that when they left, it felt like they took a piece of your soul with them? If you're nodding your head right now, this story is for you. Today, I'm going to share a deeply personal story. A story about a woman named Emma. A story about heartbreak, tears, sleepless nights, but most importantly, a story about rebirth. This isn't just an English lesson. This is a life lesson wrapped in English words. So grab a cup of tea, sit comfortably, and stay with me until the end. Because by the time this story finishes, you won't just learn English, you'll learn something about yourself. And please, at the end of this video, share your thoughts in the comments. Tell me, what helps you heal when your heart is broken? I read every single comment. Let's begin. Emma was 28 years old. She lived in a beautiful city called Portland. She worked at a small bookstore downtown. She loved books, she loved coffee, and she loved her quiet, peaceful life. But everything changed when she met Daniel. Daniel was charming. He had a warm smile, kind eyes, and a way of making Emma feel like she was the most special person in the world. They met at a friend's party. Emma was shy, standing in the corner holding a glass of lemonade. Daniel walked up to her and said, "You look like someone who has interesting thoughts. What are you thinking about right now?" Emma was surprised. No one had ever asked her that before. She smiled and said, "I was thinking about how uncomfortable I am at parties." Daniel laughed. "Me too. Let's be uncomfortable together." And just like that, they connected. Let me pause here, my friends. Let's learn some emotional vocabulary. Charming means attractive and pleasant in personality. Shy means nervous or uncomfortable around people. Connected meant felt a special bond or relationship. Repeat after me. He was charming. She felt shy. They connected immediately. Beautiful. Let's continue. Emma and Daniel started dating. And for 3 years, Emma felt like she was living in a dream. They would have breakfast together every Sunday. They would walk by the river holding hands. They would watch old movies and laugh until their stomachs hurt. Emma introduced Daniel to her family. Her mother loved him. Her father trusted him. Her little sister called him the best brother-in-law ever, even though they weren't married yet. Emma thought, "This is it. This is my person. This is my future." She planned her life around Daniel. She turned down a job opportunity in Boston because Daniel's work was in Portland. She spent less time with her friends because she wanted to spend every free moment with him. She gave him her whole heart. Let's learn how to express deep feelings in English. He means everything to me equals he is very important to me. I can't imagine life without her equals she is essential to my happiness. You are my person equals you are the one I choose. Practice. She means everything to me. I can't imagine life without him. You are my person. Good. Now let's see what happened next.
One Tuesday evening, Daniel came to Emma's apartment. Something felt wrong. Emma could sense it. He wouldn't look her in the eyes. His hands were shaking. He sat down on the couch and said the words that shattered Emma's world. "Emma, I need to talk to you. I've been thinking a lot, and I don't think this is working anymore. I think we should break up." Emma froze. She couldn't breathe. She couldn't think. "What? Why? Did I do something wrong?" she asked, her voice breaking. Daniel shook his head. "No, you didn't do anything wrong. I don't feel the same way anymore. I'm sorry." "But I love you," Emma whispered, tears streaming down her face. "I know," Daniel said quietly, "and I'm sorry. I really am." And just like that, he left. He walked out of her apartment. He walked out of her life. Emma stood there in the middle of her living room, completely devastated. These are painful words, but important to know. Shattered means completely broken. Devastated, extremely upset and shocked. Heartbroken, feeling deep sadness from emotional pain. Say with me, "My heart is shattered. I feel devastated. I am heartbroken." It's okay to feel these emotions, my friends. Let's continue Emma's journey.
The next few weeks were the darkest days of Emma's life. She couldn't eat. She couldn't sleep. She would wake up at 3 a.m. crying, reaching for Daniel's side of the bed, but he wasn't there. She called in sick to work. She ignored her friends' messages. She watched the same sad movies over and over again. Her mother called every day. "Emma, sweetheart, please talk to me. Please come home." But Emma couldn't face anyone. She felt ashamed. She felt worthless. She kept thinking, "Why wasn't I enough? What's wrong with me?" She looked at photos of Daniel on her phone. She reread their old text messages. She tortured herself with memories. One night, Emma sat on her bathroom floor, looking at herself in the mirror. Her eyes were red and swollen. Her hair was messy. She looked tired and broken. She whispered to herself, "I don't even recognize you anymore." And at that moment, something inside her snapped. She realized, "I can't live like this. I can't let this pain destroy me. I need to choose myself." Let's learn words for difficult feelings. Ashamed, feeling embarrassed or guilty. Worthless, feeling like you have no value. Tortured, caused yourself pain emotionally. Repeat, I felt ashamed. I felt worthless. I tortured myself with memories. Remember, my friends, feeling these emotions is human, but staying in them is a choice. Let's see what Emma chose.
The next morning, Emma woke up and made a decision. She said to herself, "Today, I begin again." She didn't know how. She didn't know if she would succeed, but she knew she had to try. Step 1. She deleted Daniel's number. It was hard. Her finger hovered over the delete button for 10 minutes, but finally she did it. Step 2. She removed all his photos from her phone. She didn't delete them completely. She moved them to a folder she couldn't easily access. Out of sight, out of mind. Step 3. She called her best friend, Sophia. "Sophia, I need help. I can't do this alone anymore."
Sophia came over immediately. She hugged Emma tight and said, "You're not alone. I'm here. We'll get through this together." Step 4. She started a journal. Every night, Emma wrote down her feelings. She wrote about her pain, her fears, her hopes. Writing helped her release the emotions trapped inside. Step 5. She went back to work. Facing people was terrifying, but staying home was making her worse. So she put on a smile, went to the bookstore, and focused on helping customers. Slowly, very slowly, Emma started to feel a tiny bit better. Words for recovery. Deleted means removed permanently. Released means let go of something. Focused means concentrated attention on something. Practice. I deleted his number. I released my pain. I focused on myself. Beautiful. Let's continue Emma's transformation. Weeks turned into months. Emma continued her healing journey. She joined a yoga class. At first, she could barely hold a pose, but the breathing exercises helped calm her anxious mind. She started reading again, not just for work, but for pleasure. She read books about self-love, about women who overcame hardship, about finding happiness within yourself. She reconnected with old hobbies. She used to love painting, so she bought a canvas and some paints and spent her weekends creating art. It didn't matter if the paintings were good or bad. What mattered was that she was doing something she loved. She also started saying no to things that didn't serve her. When people asked about Daniel, she politely said, "I'd rather not talk about it." She protected her peace. One day, Emma's friend Sophia invited her to a hiking trip. "Come on, Emma, fresh air, beautiful views, and no phones." Emma hesitated, but then she thought, why not? I need to try new things. They hiked to the top of Mount Rainier. The climb was difficult. Emma's legs hurt. She wanted to give up, but Sophia encouraged her. "You can do this, Emma, one step at a time." When they reached the summit, Emma looked out at the breathtaking view. Mountains, forests, endless sky. She felt something she hadn't felt in months. Peace. She took a deep breath and said out loud, "I am stronger than I thought." Words for personal growth. Reconnected. Started again with something from the past. Protected. Kept safe from harm. Breathtaking. Extremely beautiful. Say it. I reconnected with my hobbies. I protected my peace. The view was breathtaking. Excellent. Now, the most important part of Emma's story. 6 months after the breakup, Emma had a powerful realization. She was sitting in a coffee shop, reading a book, drinking her favorite latte. The sun was shining through the window, soft music played in the background. And Emma thought, I'm happy. Right now, in this moment, I'm genuinely happy. It wasn't because she found a new boyfriend. It wasn't because Daniel came back. It was because she learned something crucial. Her happiness didn't depend on another person. It came from within. She realized that during her relationship with Daniel, she had lost herself.
She had made him the center of her universe. She had forgotten her own dreams, her own needs, her own value. But now she knew her worth. She wrote in her journal that night, "I am enough. I was always enough. I don't need someone to complete me. I am already whole." Powerful phrases for confidence. I am enough. I have value exactly as I am. I don't need someone to complete me. I am whole on my own. I know my worth. Repeat with confidence. I am enough. I don't need someone to complete me. I know my worth. Say it again. Mean it, because you are enough.
1 year after the breakup, Emma was a completely different person. She got promoted at work, she started leading a book club at her bookstore, she made new friends who appreciated her for who she truly was. She traveled solo to San Francisco, something she had always wanted to do but was too afraid to do alone. And you know what? She had an amazing time. She explored museums, tasted new foods, walked across the Golden Gate Bridge. She proved to herself, I don't need anyone else to create a beautiful life. One evening, Emma ran into Daniel at a restaurant. Her heart skipped a beat. She felt nervous for a moment. Daniel walked over. "Emma, hi, how are you?" Emma smiled calmly. "I'm doing really well, actually. How are you?" They made small talk for a few minutes, and when the conversation ended, Emma realized something profound. She didn't feel pain anymore. She didn't feel anger. She felt neutral. She had truly healed. As she walked home that night, she felt proud of herself. She had survived the worst pain of her life and come out stronger. Words that show strength. Promoted means given a higher position. Solo means alone, by yourself. Profound means very deep and meaningful. Practice. I got promoted. I traveled solo. I had a profound realization. Amazing! Now, let's talk about the lessons Emma learned.
Emma wrote down the most important lessons from her journey. Lesson 1. Pain is temporary, but growth is permanent. The heartbreak felt endless, but it did end. And what remained was a stronger, wiser version of herself. Lesson 2. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Emma learned that she must love herself first before she can truly love someone else. Lesson 3. Closure comes from within. She never got the perfect explanation from Daniel, but she didn't need it. She gave herself closure by choosing to move forward. Lesson 4. It's okay to be alone. Being alone doesn't mean being lonely. Emma learned to enjoy her own company. Lesson 5. You are not defined by your relationships. Your value doesn't come from being someone's girlfriend, wife, or partner. Your value comes from being you. Lesson 6. Healing is not linear. Some days were great. Some days she cried again, and that was okay. Healing doesn't follow a straight path. Lesson 7. Ask for help. Reaching out to Sophia was one of the best decisions Emma made. We all need support sometimes. Deep English expressions. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You must take care of yourself first. Closure comes from within. You give yourself peace, not others. Healing is not linear. Recovery has ups and downs. Repeat these powerful phrases. I cannot pour from an empty cup. Closure comes from within. Healing is not linear. These aren't just English lessons. These are life lessons.
let me tell you about another important moment in Emma's journey. This happened about 8 months after the breakup. Emma was at her bookstore one afternoon when a young woman came in. The woman looked upset. Her eyes were red, and she was trying hard not to cry. Emma walked over gently and asked, "Are you okay? Can I help you find something?" The young woman, whose name was Rachel, started crying. "I'm sorry. My boyfriend broke up with me yesterday. I don't know what to do. I saw your bookstore and thought maybe a book could help." Emma's heart broke for her. She remembered exactly how that felt. Emma said softly, "I understand. I've been there. Come, sit with me for a moment." They sat in the cozy reading corner of the bookstore. Emma made Rachel a cup of tea, and then Emma did something she had never done before. She shared her own story. She told Rachel about Daniel, about the pain, about the dark days, but most importantly, she told Rachel about the healing, the growth, and the rediscovery of self-love. Rachel listened, tears streaming down her face. "But how did you do it? How did you survive?" Emma smiled. "One day at a time, one breath at a time, and by choosing myself every single day." Before Rachel left, Emma recommended some books about healing and self-love. She also wrote down her phone number on a piece of paper. "If you ever need someone to talk to, someone who understands, please call me. You don't have to go through this alone." Rachel hugged Emma tightly. "Thank you. You have no idea how much this means to me." As Emma watched Rachel leave, she realized something beautiful. Her pain had purpose. By going through her own heartbreak, she could now help others who were suffering. She had turned her wound into wisdom. Words for supporting people. Gently means in a soft, kind manner. Purpose means a reason or meaning. Wisdom means deep knowledge gained from experience. Practice. I spoke to her gently. My pain had purpose. I turned my wound into wisdom. Beautiful. Let's continue.
Emma's life continued to transform in beautiful ways. She started a support group at her bookstore. Every Thursday evening, people who were going through breakups or difficult times would gather. They would share their stories, support each other, and heal together. The group grew from 3 people to 20 people. Emma created a safe space where people could be vulnerable, where they could cry without judgment, where they could find hope. One member of the group, a man named Marcus, said to Emma, "You saved my life. I was in such a dark place after my divorce, but this group, your story, it gave me hope." Emma also started writing. She began a blog called Healing Hearts. She wrote about her journey, about the lessons she learned, about the challenges and victories of rebuilding after heartbreak. Her blog reached thousands of people around the world. She received messages from people in India, Brazil, Japan, South Africa, people who felt less alone because of her words. One message said, "Dear Emma, I'm a 45-year-old woman from London. I thought I was too old to heal after my husband left me, but your story showed me it's never too late to choose yourself. Thank you." Emma was amazed. Her pain, which once felt so personal and isolating, was now helping people everywhere. She also made major changes in her career. She realized that working at the bookstore, while comfortable, wasn't her true passion anymore. Emma decided to go back to school. She enrolled in a counseling program. She wanted to become a professional therapist, specializing in helping people heal from relationship trauma. It was scary, She was 30 years old, starting a new career path. But Emma had learned an important truth. It's never too late to pursue your dreams. Words for professional development. Support group, a gathering of people who help each other. Vulnerable, open about your feelings and weaknesses. Enrolled, officially joined a course or program. Say it with me. I joined a support group. I allowed myself to be vulnerable. I enrolled in a new program. Excellent. Now let's talk about Emma's transformation.
Emma's life continued to transform in beautiful ways. She started a support group at her bookstore. Every Thursday evening, people who were going through breakups or difficult times would gather. They would share their stories, support each other, and heal together. The group grew from 3 people to 20 people. Emma created a safe space where people could be vulnerable, where they could cry without judgment, where they could find hope. One member of the group, a man named Marcus, said to Emma, "You saved my life. I was in such a dark place after my divorce, but this group, your story, it gave me hope." Emma also started writing. She began a blog called Healing Hearts. She wrote about her journey, about the lessons she learned, about the challenges and victories of rebuilding after heartbreak. Her blog reached thousands of people around the world. She received messages from people in India, Brazil, Japan, South Africa, people who felt less alone because of her words. One message said, "Dear Emma, I'm a 45-year-old woman from London. I thought I was too old to heal after my husband left me, but your story showed me it's never too late to choose yourself. Thank you." Emma was amazed. Her pain, which once felt so personal and isolating, was now helping people everywhere. She also made major changes in her career. She realized that working at the bookstore, while comfortable, wasn't her true passion anymore. Emma decided to go back to school. She enrolled in a counseling program. She wanted to become a professional therapist specializing in helping people heal from relationship trauma. It was scary. She was 30 years old, starting a new career path. But Emma had learned an important truth. It's never too late to pursue your dreams. Words for professional development. Support group, a gathering of people who help each other. Vulnerable, open about your feelings and weaknesses. Enrolled, officially joined a course or program. Say it with me. I joined a support group. I allowed myself to be vulnerable. I enrolled in a new program. Excellent. Now let's talk about Emma's transformation.
2 years after her breakup with Daniel, Emma met someone new. His name was James. He was a teacher at a local elementary school. They met at Emma's support group. James had come to heal after his own difficult breakup. At first, Emma was terrified. She thought, what if this happens again? What if I get hurt? But James was patient. He understood her fears because he had his own. Their relationship grew slowly. Unlike with Daniel, Emma didn't rush. She didn't lose herself. She maintained her friendships, her hobbies, her independence. James respected this. In fact, he loved this about her. One evening, James said to Emma, "I love that you're complete on your own. I'm not here to complete you. I'm here to complement you." That was the difference. With Daniel,
Emma had felt like half a person trying to become whole through him. With James, she felt like a whole person choosing to share her life with another whole person. Emma also noticed how differently she showed up in this relationship. She communicated her needs clearly. She set healthy boundaries. She didn't ignore red flags to keep the peace. When James did something that bothered her, instead of staying silent like she used to, Emma would say, "Can we talk about something? I felt hurt when I need," and James would listen. They would work through issues together like a team. Emma realized this is what a healthy relationship feels like. But here's the most important part. Emma knew that if James left tomorrow, she would be okay. Sad, yes. Hurt, yes. But she wouldn't be destroyed like she was with Daniel. Because now, Emma's happiness wasn't dependent on another person. James added to her happiness, but he wasn't the source of it. The source was within her. Words for balanced love. Complement, to complete or enhance something. Boundaries, limits you set to protect yourself. Dependent, relying on someone else for your needs. Important phrases. He compliments me. I set healthy boundaries. I am not dependent on anyone for my happiness. Say these empowering words. 3 years after her breakup, Emma gave her first public speech. She was invited to speak at a women's conference in Seattle about overcoming heartbreak and building resilience. Emma was nervous. She had shared her story in her support group and on her blog, but never on a stage in front of hundreds of people. As she stood behind the podium, looking at all those faces, she took a deep breath and began. 3 years ago, I thought my life was over. The man I loved left me. I felt worthless, broken, and completely alone. I honestly didn't know if I would survive the pain. The audience was silent, listening intently. But here I am today, not just surviving, but thriving. And if I can do it, so can you. Emma shared her entire journey, the pain, the healing, the lessons, the growth. She made people laugh, she made people cry, but most importantly, she gave people hope. After her speech, dozens of people came up to her. They hugged her, they thanked her, they told their own stories. One woman said, "I've been stuck in grief for 5 years since my divorce, but hearing you tonight, I finally believe I can move forward." Emma realized that her purpose had become clear, to help others heal. She eventually wrote a book titled Broken to Beautiful, a journey from heartbreak to wholeness. The book became a bestseller, reaching people who needed its message desperately. Emma started traveling, giving speeches, conducting workshops. She helped thousands of people transform their pain into power. But she never forgot where she started, sitting on that bathroom floor, broken and hopeless, wondering if she would ever feel okay again. That memory kept her humble and compassionate.
My dear friends at English Learning Channel, Emma's story teaches us so many important lessons. She learned that heartbreak doesn't break you. It breaks you open so better things can enter your life. She learned that you must lose yourself sometimes to find your true self. She learned that the relationship with yourself is the most important relationship you'll ever have. She learned that pain has purpose when you choose to grow from it. She learned that healing takes time, and that's okay. She learned to forgive both others and herself. She learned that asking for help is not weakness, it's wisdom. She learned that your worth is not determined by whether someone chooses to stay or leave. Most importantly, Emma learned this truth: I am enough. I was always enough, and I will always be enough. And my dear friends, you are enough too. No matter what you're going through right now, no matter how broken your heart feels, no matter how hopeless things seem, you will survive this. You are stronger than your struggles. You are braver than your fears. You are more resilient than you know. The pain you feel today is shaping you into the person you're meant to become, a wiser, stronger, more compassionate version of yourself. Don't rush your healing. Don't compare your journey to others. Your timeline is your own. Be patient with yourself. Be kind to yourself. Be gentle with yourself. And remember, you don't need anyone to complete you. You are already complete. Now, my beautiful community, I want to hear from you. Please answer these questions in the comments. What is one thing you learned from Emma's story? What helps you heal when you're going through a difficult time? What is one thing you want to tell your past self about heartbreak? Share your thoughts, your stories, your wisdom. Your comment might be exactly what someone else needs to read today. If Emma's story touched your heart, please give this video a thumbs up. Share it with someone who needs hope right now. Subscribe to English Learning Channel for more motivational stories. Remember, you're not just learning English here. You're learning about life, love, resilience, and the incredible strength of the human spirit. Before I go, I want to leave you with Emma's favorite quote. She keeps it on her mirror and she reads it every morning. The wound is the place where the light enters you. Your pain is not pointless. Your struggle is not in vain. Everything you're experiencing is preparing you for the beautiful life that's waiting for you. Emma found her light, and you will find yours too. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Thank you for trusting me with your hearts and your time. You are loved. You are valued. You are enough. This is English Learning Channel, reminding you that after every storm comes a rainbow, after every night comes a sunrise, and after every heartbreak comes a stronger, more beautiful you. Take care of yourself, my dear friends. I'll see you in the next story. Until then, choose yourself, love yourself, and believe in yourself. Goodbye, and stay strong.